as you can probably tell, I am doing another big bore kit. So, yeah, I'm making a big mess. I got a original Dunlop 16. I don't know if I showed this in the last video, but the front is a Dunlop rim, and I found this, and it's also an original Dunlop. It's in pretty good shape. It still needs cleaned up. You can probably see all the age on it, but overall the chrome's in great shape. So I'm going to clean it up. I got to clean this center up, and then I'm going to have it laced up to the chrome hub I found. I've also kind of, while I'm running the boring bar, I'm playing with the fork legs. Polishing that nacelle was probably a mistake, because now I'm trying to match everything, and oh my god, it sucks. So this is obviously what they look like. This is only up to 400 right now. So I just did a real quick test to make sure that it was looking good so far. So long ways to go. I'm gonna do 800, 1,000, and I may just stop there, just because they're the legs. They're gonna quickly discolor. They're not gonna stay perfect for long, and it's the furthest thing from your eye. So kind of half-assing it. I got some junk old bearings for the my buddy to true it up, but it's a good hub. Old chrome, somebody had done at some point, but it's in good shape. I'd really like to find a chrome brake drum. That'd be really awesome. So we'll see. But this laced up to that nice rim really should look good. I've got a new set of spokes here, so it's really going to have a nice finish to match the front. I haven't touched the front brake plates yet. Just haven't had time. I'm really getting tired of polishing. I did get the rear engine mount cut off, which I'm glad I did, because that was not done very well. So I get to redo that. Not going to be a lot in this video, probably. We'll see what I can get done in the next couple days, my in-between jobs, but I really want to get that big bore kit done, so I'm going to get back to that. I did the same thing on the other leg before I got to the point that I had shown you, but originally I was going to actually do passes between, where I could, and just kind of do light touches. This thing is so out of whack that there is just no way that was even going to be possible. So I just went ahead and hit it with my hands. From this point, I'm now going to start touching up around these. I'll get it out of the lathe now, but I just wanted to kind of show how smooth I get it just from spinning it up in here where I can. But obviously there's a big band here and here, because you can't do that while it's spinning. But yeah, this one's going a little bit quicker than the last one, thankfully. The like steel shrouds that fit over these were clearly digging super deep into the leg, so there was a lot of scratching and gouging that I had to get out of up here from that. So something to definitely pay attention to when we go to do our assembly of the setup we're going to do, to make sure we got good, true, straight legs, or shrouds, I guess, so then we don't gouge up the legs. Okay, it's another cold day in the shop, so I didn't want to do anything that was precision. I can't have a reliable measurement when I think it's like 43 degrees in here right now. It was negative 20, I think, when I woke up this morning. So the shop just can't keep up, which I totally understand. I just been working on these just because it's about all I can do. I've got them up to 800. I should probably take them to 1,000, but I'm going to try again. I'm going to give them both a really good buff out and see what they look like. Because they're the lower leg, they're going to see a lot of abuse from, road grime and rain and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. It's so far from your eye. It doesn't really need to be as exaggerated as the nacelle got. So I also have the brake plates to do still. I don't want to burn myself out on polishing. I'm already getting close. So I'm going to go ahead and hit these on the buffer, see how they look. I've got them about as flat as I want. I did a lot of filing work because they were so gouged, like we talked about, and it got pretty good. Obviously, it's going to cause some really ugly lines in it. And then what I ended up doing was I have this old, it's just a foam block, sanding block, but I just stick this adhesive back sanding discs on there, and it works pretty good. The foam's stiff enough that it gives me the illusion of a flat surface, but it also is like forgiving enough that it doesn't. This 800 loaded up pretty good, but like that's my problem with using like a file or something, is it just loads up the paper so fast. It kind of makes it impossible to get anywhere. So that foam block works good. I really like it. It's pretty stiff. It works good. But I'm gonna go ahead and hit these on the buffer, and we'll see what they look like. Hopefully it's gonna be good enough. For 800, they look pretty good. I'm happy enough with them. Obviously, like there's little corners and pockets and stuff that I'll have to use an actual like Dremel polishing bit, but it's they're far from perfect, but they'll look perfect from afar. How about that? I really should get the brake plates done, but I don't know. I think I need to take a break from polishing for a little bit. So I really want to see it all together though. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to assemble this front end with no shrouds, and because there'd be like a shroud between the nacelle and the fork leg. But I'm getting chrome ones of those on order from Hitchcock. So I think what I'm going to do is no shrouds, no brake plates, but just kind of assemble the front end loosely. I really want to see it all together. I'll probably end up doing this so many times, but you know, it's exciting when you get stuff, back. You want to see it. I am extremely happy at this point, which is good because it's just going to get better. Once these brake plates are done and in there, that's going to be gleaming. I'm actually way happier with the inside of the hub than I was when I had first got done with it. And again, these legs, if you look really, really close, you can definitely see all of my sanding patterns. So it's not perfect, but from a distance, man, it looks so cool. Just chrome bars, polish, and then there's the steel shroud that's supposed to go here. I had black ones on before, you might remember, but those are whooped. They're just completely trashed. Hitchcock sells chrome ones, so I'm going to have chrome shrouds that will then link. So the whole front end is going to be shiny, which that wasn't really my plan at the beginning. I really only had planned on polishing the nacelle, and I had contemplated powder coating the lowers. But once I started going, it's like, man, it's just going to look really good all together. So I'm so happy. It looks so good. I still haven't gotten my rear rim to my wheel guy, so I'm hoping over the weekend, might get it back sometime next week. And which just doesn't matter because we're not even close to that rear section of the frame, but this has just been looking at me, so I felt like I really wanted to get something done there. I don't know what year. It's like 57 or something like that, but I get asked about what this nacelle is off of. It's a Fire Arrow is what it's called. God, now I'm second guessing myself. I think it's called a Fire Arrow. It's just a little 250 Royal Enfield, but they're rare. That doesn't mean they're valuable, but they're rare. You could probably find one relatively inexpensive if somebody wasn't going to use it for a restoration. It's kind of useless. But I haven't completely settled on the Z-bars. It's just a good mock-up because it doesn't really push any one direction as far as design goes. When I had this on that rat bike I'd built, I had these really crazy like narrow ape hangers on it, and I really liked the way it looked on that bike. And I had done a mock-up a while ago with those bars on this setup, and I hated it. I don't know why, but I really hated it. So we're probably going to go with the bulldog-like bar, you know, something real tight and narrow. You know, something, it's going to be comfortable, but still look as good as it can. But if I do run those, I'll narrow them up considerably. I always narrow up my Z-bars. And then I have to do those yet. I have to figure out what these are going to come, because I think the seals are built into those. So I'll get new ones of those. I still have to polish the little spacer deals. But this front end, at least it's got a good mock-up. You know, I'm very, very happy. I'm going to pull these apart and start going with them. I will vapor blast them first. I'll dry blast, then vapor blast, so then that way anywhere that I don't get to is still at least kind of finished off, I guess. You know, and then the back sides will be all cleaned up and pretty. But I'm probably going to have... I probably have 8 hours in the nacelle on the 2 legs. It just... I hate saying that out loud. Plus the hub, I didn't even think about the hub, so I don't know. I've got a lot of hours into polishing, and I did not want that to happen. That was not the goal. This is why I don't polish covers for people, for their engines, is because it's just, in order to make it look good, it's so time consuming. And I'm not about to do a cover and not have it look as good as it can. It's just like, what's the point? You know, if I'm going to just half-ass it and do it as quick as I can, you might as well do it yourself. If I'm going to do it, I need it to look as good as it possibly can look. So, you know, this is kind of justification, I guess, for why I don't do them. But, okay, I think we've looked at this long enough. I think for the rest of the day and tomorrow, I'm going to finish up all of my frame fixtures. I'm going to make something that will hold engine case without using the engine mounting points. I think we talked about that. But I will get that done, and hopefully the steering neck fixture done. So, which, I don't know, I'm going to make one just for now as like for the project we're on, and I may change my design later on, but I'll show you guys what I'm doing. I don't know if this is annoying for you guys that I'm not really showing all the steps. I have my reasons, I guess. There's a little bit of hesitation just with the fact that I think a lot of you are here because of the engine work. And that being said, I kind of got nervous trying to show some of this just because this is not my place. I'm doing this for me, and my ideas don't always work out. You know, sometimes I get all the way through something and then realize I'm not into it. But, yeah, so it's just, I don't know, it's weird for me to try and preach about stuff that this is not my world. All that being said, I am pretty happy with how this ended up. My main goal was just overbuilt, like we talked about before, but also adjustability. I don't want to build something that only does one thing. What I ended up doing was I turned down a piece of steel that fit over this all thread, and then I drilled the holes in this a while back, and I drilled the holes for this a while back, so all that was kind of ready. I originally was going to do it narrow and do it in the center here. But as it kind of came together, I was like, well, maybe I'll give myself some more room here, because at the end of the day, I could technically, you know, even if this is bolted up and I'm really, really confident and I go to check the center line of this, it may be off, which would give me the option to adjust with these two locking nuts here. So, I don't know. We'll see. It kind of sounded like a good idea in my head. It looks good, I guess. I don't know. I decided to go with just a large bolt for the base of this, just because I wanted to kind of not waste a bunch of hours trying to cut something on the lathe just for it to be the exact same solution. I did check to make sure that this was round or concentric, whatever, and I cut the head off just to keep all of it very squared up, concentric, whatever, I don't know. But I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It's really, really rigid once you get it all snugged up. I did start a hole on the end, and I plan on tapping that so then I can run a plumb bob off the back. So then I will have to figure out how I'm going to find center of this, whether I use a laser or if I figure out a way to hang a plumb bob off of this. I'm not sure. I should have thought of that before and done something before it's all, stuck together. But, it is what it is. The other thing I thought about is if I decide that this isn't as rigid as I want it to be, I could maybe run like a Heim joint or something off the top and then tie it into here. That might be a little bit overkill. I may end up coming up with a whole new fixture, unit to hold that neck. So I don't know. This was what I came up with. I'll have to make new bushings. These are the old bushings I had made, the dummy bearings. I'll have to make new ones that fit a little bit tighter. These aren't quite as snug as I would like them to be, but this is just kind of giving you an idea of the concept. I'll also have to make them a little bit slimmer, which is no big deal. I mean, they're both pretty stout. So I'll slim them up a little bit when I design them, because this is the standard neck length of a Triumph. But that'll give me a few more threads there. So I don't know. Again, I may end up changing all of this. It's just something for now that I'm fairly pleased with. But this engine stand, I'm not happy with it. I don't think this is what I'm going to roll with, but I just wanted something that would hold an engine. It's easy to make level. It's going to be sturdy enough. I don't want to use, I said that before, I don't want to use the actual mounting points of a factory engine, but I also need to figure out, how I can hold the engine very rigid, but stay out of my own way. So, I don't know, I'm thinking I may end up just welding directly to a set of, these are junk cases. I may just weld directly to them. I may machine some. I don't know yet. But because I was unsure, I have a couple different ideas. I just needed to get something together. So it's just a temporary design. I'm using this bolt and nut as kind of a jack stand to tilt it to get my level. But it's good enough. Like I said, for now I can use it, but I will come up with something a little bit more polished, when I'm done. But I can at least play around with this one and get a better concept for the next design. But we are going to use it, I'm going to try to use it to change the engine mounts on our other frame. So I'm actually going to get the other frame in this really quick. So just give me a second. I just threw this block under here just to kind of be my second set of hands, but the frame needs to come down if I'm going to just base off this. I could block it up, but I kind of want as little interfering as possible right now. So what I think I'm going to do is I'll loosen that back up and slowly start dropping it, and I want this bottom line to stay level because of the way this frame was set up, and before when we were going back and forth doing all the different things, when the engine's level using the factory mounting points, the frame is tilted. And so what I would like to do now is I want to level this bottom line and then level the engine and then relocate either or both of the mounting points. So I'm going to put the camera back down and do this all with both hands, but so right now this is just sitting here. So I have about, an inch to drop. So I'm going to drop down an inch and see where that kind of puts me. I did like how high the engine sat in the frame before. You know, like on a factory, this is about where it would be. You know, that bottom tube intersects kind of below, because the main, there's that cast-in lug, and then that bottom main mounting bolt just goes through the center of the frame. I like how this sits on top, so I kind of want to keep that concept. I don't think I'm going to use this specific lug, but I'm still going to have that height that it had before, because I do want to run my foot controls on the top side of the frame rails under the engine. So, okay, I'm going to move it. Okay, doing this backwards is really, really hard. Like, as far as like trying to match everything up to what's already there. Definitely a two-man job. I should have waited until somebody could help me, but it's in place. So our frame is now level. The bottom line is, that's really only reference point. I mean, it's kind of obvious once you go to look at a frame, you're like, oh yeah, I guess that is the only place I can really reference off of. So bottom line is level, which is what I was after, and now off the base gasket, that's been kind of my level engine. You know, that's what I keep referring to when I say level engine. The engine is now level. I'm already not happy with this concept because of where this is important, where this is, and this is my pivoting point. And so I was like fighting that short throw. It really made everything like way harder than what I thought. So already do not like this concept. I'm going to keep thinking. Now, if I was building a frame from scratch and I had this bolted up and then like use the transmission, like I said, as my tilting point, that would still kind of work. I mean, that idea does allow me to come in and utilize this mounting point and this mounting point to make like my own little lug or whatever I'm going to do to run the frame in. But overall, it's just, I don't know. I don't think I like this idea. I'm going to keep thinking. Originally I was going to have one here, but then I don't know, just got kind of busy. There was going to be too much going on, so I don't know. I'm going to keep thinking, try and figure something out. If we come up and look at how far off we are, it's not really that crazy. It's really only about halfway through the actual hole as far as how far. But I don't like these engine tabs that are currently there. They're just plate steel with a bend in it. It's just not that great. Obviously, it's been filled in with a ton of Bondo. So I'm going to cut these out, and then I'm going to create like, I think I'm going to kind of try and come up with either a sandwich style like the later T140s, maybe two plates like that. I don't know if I want that many different hardware pieces. I may end up coming up with a solid kind of shaped piece, and then I think I'm going to tie these two pieces of frame together, the two down tubes. I'm not a big fan of how flimsy it is. Like, if you take the engine out and nothing's bolted in here, you can flex these, and so, which is obvious. I mean, they're tied together here and all the way up here, so trying to stiffen that up is probably going to benefit us. I still haven't done anything else since you've seen here. I think I'm going to use silica bronze to fill in any of the low spots and anything I'm not super happy with. But I haven't really ground on anything, just because I kind of really got thinking about moving the engine mounts. I think I could move it forward a little bit from where this lower mount is located and where this is located. I could probably sneak it forward about an inch, honestly. So I'm going to get these cut out, and I'll probably start playing around with the engine. I don't really like these down here anyway, so I don't think it's going to be a big deal if they get cut out. But I'll definitely get everything really, really tightened down before I start removing anything. I have quite a few more components to do before I get too carried away. I also need to recreate this back mount. I think I'm going to come, well, I don't know yet. I don't know what I'm going to do here. I may end up just with the exact same as a factory style. I will probably like sleeve the rod that I used, because it was a solid piece of solid stock on the back that was just drilled and tapped. I'll probably do the same thing, but if I box it in or if I sleeve it and then box in the sleeve, however I do it, I want it to look a little bit more finished out than just what was there before. But yeah, a lot of work left to do. I just really needed to get that neck fixture done. I'm super happy with it. Not a fan of my engine mount, but that's okay. I've got quite a few other ideas. This kind of gives you the idea. I also have multiple feet left here at the end, which I was just talking to my buddy the other day. I'm very happy about that because he has a bike that needs some stuff welded on it, but it's an assembled bike, and he doesn't want to tear it completely down just to use that neck. But he wants to weld it here on this table. He asked if I could. So what I was kind of keeping in mind when we were putting this together is I will be able to just throw, like, whether it's these boards or we make plates or whatever it is, we can put those down and an entire bike will fit on this. And then we can obviously hold it down however we need to. But realistically, this is more than enough to hold an entire bike, which is really cool, because then that way you don't have to do any sort of high amount of disassembly to put it in here. So pretty cool. I'm happy with that. He's excited. He doesn't have to rip his whole bike down just to do I think we're doing like seat tabs, sissy bar tabs, like just real basic stuff. So, but at least we'll be able to keep everything level, and that will be nice, kind of higher level of finish. I did get another big bore halfway done. I will finish boring it tomorrow probably. The weather was just way too cold for me to have any type of accuracy on this, but got the liners dropped in the other night. It went beautifully. So now I just have to do that final bore and hone on the inside. So pretty cool. I'm happy that people want these. I will be doing one for my own Interceptor, so we'll cover that, and then I've got quite the plan for my Interceptor project, but we need to get other things done first. So just thought I'd kind of update you on that. That's going to be all for this video. Again, it's not a great one, but I am trying to transition into doing a little bit of everything, I guess. Anything British bike related. How about that? We'll call it that. Again, the whole goal for this was just, there might be somebody out there who's interested in British bikes, and they also might like modifications, customization, whatever you want to say. But again, this was never meant to be a how-to channel. This was never meant to be a machining-only channel. I enjoy watching videos of people doing things, and I'm doing things, so I thought maybe people would enjoy watching what I'm working on. So it's either going to work or it's not. I guess I'm just going to keep uploading, try and stay consistent. Hopefully I get into a better groove where there's more to each video, but I just have to justify the time. I'm really, really busy in the shop, so for me to take time to do anything else is kind of hard. But that's kind of another point as to why I wanted to do this, is it forces me to work on my own projects, because otherwise I just never get anything done. But I'd love to see this thing come together. I would really like to put some miles on this. Kind of gives me a little bit more motivation to do some weird projects. I've got a few other ideas in my head, so I really need to get this out and get the next one going and the next one going, and then go. Hopefully you enjoy it. If there's anything you guys want to see, if I do neglect machine videos too much, just let me know. I'll try and bounce back and forth. I've got a few things coming up that I'm kind of excited about. I'll definitely document that, but if there's a week that I don't know what else to do, I'll just try and get a video of my own personal stuff. So I hope you enjoy it.